Hello. So 2 days ago, I officially committed to writing this book. I've had this idea for over 5 years, and now that I'm revisiting it, it has changed so much already. For so long, it was just an idea and it was stagnant and I did nothing with it. But now that I'm actually writing and getting words out of my head, things are changing. And that's hard for me to accept because for so long I had held it in a certain regard in my mind, and for it to turn out differently than that is just a lot to take in. But also I'm making progress. So at the end of the day, I can't really be mad that I am on the way to accomplishing my lifelong dream of writing a book. So I've set a word count for myself every day of 500 words, which really is not that much, but it's hard for me to create a writing routine after so long of not doing one. It is the bare minimum right now, but I think as I continue and as I discipline myself, it'll become a lot easier, hopefully. But I'm also creating this video to document my progress, to share it with you, and mainly just to hold myself accountable because it's really hard. I struggle so much with committing myself to things like this, and this is such a big project, but it's something I've always dreamed of doing, and I'm just kind of sick of making excuses for myself, and I've started to make myself really mad, and just by talking about dreams I want to accomplish, but not actually working towards accomplishing them. I have my writer's notebook and my laptop, and I also have the last of my glass of wine, and I think I'm going to spend tonight number one, hitting my word count of the day, so 500 words, but also creating a schedule for myself because yes, I can say I want to write 500 words every day, but that's different if I have a time frame. And if you don't know, I am a full-time student. I'm majoring in English and I graduate in the spring of next year, so I don't have that much time left, but I've spent my entirety of college so far just talking about writing a book, and so I feel like it's time for me to actually do something about that and have something to show for all my talk. I'm about to set a little timer, set some ambience going, and I'm just gonna quickly work on making a rough schedule for myself. Not like a strict deadline, like I think things will definitely change, especially when I have to balance writing with my schoolwork this next semester in the fall. So it's gonna be hard, but I've committed myself already and there's no way I'm gonna give up again. So let's get started. I've just spent some time creating a writing schedule for myself. So my official deadline that I've set is October 1st. It is currently July 11th. Technically I started this whole thing on July 9th, but July 11th to October 1st, I'm going to write the first draft of my fantasy book. And before I said my daily writing word count goal was 500 words, but in order to complete this draft of my 90,000-ish word goal by October 1st, I would need to write for approximately 2 months. You know, a little bit over, but approximately 2 months, which leaves me with a 1,500 word count goal every single day to reach 90,000, which is a lot more than 500 words. But I have scheduled in a week of plotting for myself. So basically I will outline every single chapter that I'm going to write, not like super detailed, not very thoroughly, but get the characters I want in each chapter, what's going to happen, when the characters show up in each scene, each chapter, and like the themes and like the imagery that I want going on, or like where it takes place. So it's not going to be like a full-fledged plan, but it's going to give me an idea of what I'm going to write every single day that I sit down. So it'll still be hard to reach the 1,500 words every single day, but at least that way I will have a rough idea to start with, and then I can see where it takes me as I start that session. So I have started a plot outline already. I've just done the first 3 chapters, and I have already written 2 chapters, and I think I'll probably just leave them as they are and really just come back to them, because I think I have a total of like, I think a little under 2,000 words for both of those 2 chapters. So I'm probably just gonna leave those as they are, but I'm going to revamp my plot outline. I'll probably just restart, and I'm just going to count those chapters towards my word count goal, but then just revisit them later to replot. But I'm going to start fresh with the plot outline because the past couple days have also been filled with so many brainstorming moments and things that I had thought of randomly that I was like, oh, that would make a good plot twist, plot idea. And I'm not expecting myself to have this perfect the first time. That's one of the hardest things for me, and I'm definitely going to be really honest about this journey. But one of the hardest things for me is getting over my perfectionism, because I noticed writing these first 2 chapters that I really paid attention to my grammar, my spelling, if things made sense, if things were flowing right. And I just need to throw all that out the window. I need to write super indulgently and be very like nonsensical, and that's really hard for me to accept. So throughout this journey, I'm going to practice being imperfect and practice writing badly, because that is what will get me to where I want to be. With that being said, I'm going to kind of do like a little 30-minute session of plotting for a bit tonight. I'll resume tomorrow and throughout the rest of this week, and we will see where that takes us. I have a little writing update, I guess you could say. So we officially hit, oh my chair is turning. So we've officially hit milestone 1 of this whole process. It's been really hard so far, like let me be real. I have really struggled to get in the zone and really just like turn my brain off. Like I've been hitting my word count pretty much every day that I've been writing, and I've been surpassing it, which has been great. But I've just really struggled to kind of like lock in sometimes. It's really hard for me to focus and to just make myself get the words out, because I always notice when my brain starts to overthink and starts to like think about what I'm writing, like, oh, does this work? Does this dialogue sound realistic? But then I have to be like, no, shut up. It doesn't matter right now. Just keep going. Just keep typing. But I've had a great playlist, which has helped me kind of like get the zone. It's been really nice. And my boyfriend's also been like my biggest cheerleader. Like he's sat across from me every single night and done his like personal work while I work so I can focus, because if he's doing something else then I'm not gonna want to write. So thank you to him. Yeah, we hit our first big milestone, which is 10,000 words, which is like barely into our big goal overall, because my goal is around 90,000. A little bit less, a little bit more. I'm not really sure yet. We'll have to see where the story takes us, but I'd say that range. So we've hit 10k out of 90k, which is about like 10-11% through, so not that far, but I'm really proud of myself for how far I've come already. Like I've been doing this for what, 2 weeks almost, and I've already hit 10,000 words. Like I know that's not that much, but still that's more than I've ever written before for a project I've been working on. So overall, I think the main things I'm struggling with are focusing, not overthinking my writing. And yesterday I was writing and I realized maybe I was just in a bad mood or something, but I was just kind of thinking about it. I was like, I feel like my story is so boring so far. I feel like nothing has happened. And I have been writing mainly like expository scenes and kind of like the first couple chapters of the book. So I think that's why I feel that it sounds boring, because it's just setting everything up. Like no really big action has happened yet, and we're still getting to know the characters where I'm at. Like I'm still kind of writing them as I'm introducing them to you. But I've decided I'm going to like jump around a little bit. Like I have been jumping around. I've definitely been skipping chapters. But that's because the ones that I had outlined to write and I've skipped have just seemed so miserable to write. Like they're the most mundane thing ever, or like they set up something interesting, so I'll just have to go back to them. But I think it will help to write a future scene, like write some of the later scenes, and that way I can go back and drop the threads. Like I feel like jumping around will help me stay focused and stay clear on where I want the story to head. I've also been in the biggest Game of Thrones mood ever, like ever. So my writing is definitely taking inspiration from that. Like I let my boyfriend read a couple chapters, like what I've written so far. He was like, Nora, this sounds exactly like Game of Thrones. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's because I can't be bothered to think of anything else unique. And also that's the only way I can create the dynamics I want to create for this story, is by not like replicating, not like copying it, but putting the dynamics of the political sphere of Game of Thrones into my world. That's basically what I'm doing. It's helping me frame what I want to say without going into details of, oh, creating that specific political scheme I'm trying to do right now, or really like setting up that world building. Because like I have world builded, but that's not necessary for me to do right now. That's something I can go back and edit and research and create my own. So I wouldn't say I'm like copying it. Like it's definitely not Game of Thrones. I just called a character like, oh, a Hand of the King. Duh. Like it's a royal court. Of course there's gonna be like an assistant to the top dog. So it's helped inspire me, but it's also kind of distracting me because all I'm thinking of is Game of Thrones, because that's just what we're watching right now and I'm just so in love with it. So far, we're going good. It's definitely a slow process and this is very hard. Like don't get me wrong, I'm very excited to continue, but I'm starting to feel a bit discouraged. I'm not gonna let it get to me. I'm gonna keep trudging on and updating you, but yeah, this is just, it's a lot. It's really a lot. But I've started writing some of the scenes between my like love interests, at least for right now. Things might change, I'm not sure. And that has come really easy to me. I think I've always known where I want the romance in this story to go. So I think I'm gonna focus on that going forward and really prioritize making that like, not the focus, like I kind of want my story to be more plot and like political intrigue than romance. Like the romance is a big part of the plot, so it'll be prominent, but it's not gonna be like a romantasy book. Like that's never what I planned for this story, but it is a love story. So I'm trying to figure out the balance between those elements and also not falling into the trap of writing like no offense, but a stereotypical romantasy these days, because most of those books are just romance books with fantasy settings, and that's not what I want to do. I want to create a unique fantasy world that has lore and history and wars and just like legacies. Like that's what I want to do, and the romance is a subplot, but just as important as the main like war political plot. I don't know. So that's where I'm at for now. I will update you when I have something else substantial to talk about. huge writing update news for you. Actually, it's not that huge, I don't think, but I have made quite a bit of progress since I last updated you. I think the last time we talked, I said I had just hit 10,000 words. Well, I'm excited to announce that I've just hit 30,000 words. That actually doesn't feel like that much. Like, I'm thinking about how I still have 60,000 to go. Is that math right? Until 90,000? I think that's right. We're still not that far in, but we are making progress, and it has been very, very difficult. Like I said before, I was having issues with focusing and like not overthinking my writing. And I definitely think I've gotten a lot better about like turning the perfectionism off, because I've noticed now that when I sit down to write, I'm like not giving much thought. The only time that I really struggle with like turning off my brain is when I don't know what comes next. My plot outline that I made at the beginning of this video when I first started this has been abandoned and I feel like I need to revisit it, but that also would mean that everything that I've written so far would be changing, and I don't think now is the time to like face that, and I don't think now is the time to make any big changes and make like official plot changes. So I think I'm on a good roll right now. I'm up to about, I think I have about 20 chapters, but like the order of them, that I'm not sure about. But I have been writing a lot of really good scenes that I feel like are very promising. I just know that I'm gonna have to do a lot of work with my overarching plot and making sure everything like flows and makes sense, and that'll come when I finish this draft. I just need to like finish it, but I feel like I'm writing a lot of scenes that I really love and that I feel like will hopefully make it into the final revisions, edits, whatever. But definitely one of the hardest things as I've made it up to 30,000 words has been not really focusing. I feel like I can get in the zone now. It's more so been figuring out where the story goes next, because I will be writing a really good scene that I'm like, oh, this is important because it shows off this character motivation, or it shows off more of their personality, or it's a pivotal point for like the stuff they're finding out. Sorry I'm being so vague, by the way, but it's in the early stages, so I don't really feel like I could share any information about it just because so much is going to change. But yeah, I'll be writing a scene like that, and then I will be like, okay, what comes next? Like, I feel like I don't really know what is happening in my story. That's, you know, for editing Nora to figure out. Right now it's just writing Nora, and she needs to get it out of her head, and I'm doing really good at that. I'm in the middle of a scene right now, very action-packed, very pivotal for the story and for some of the characters, we'll say, and I'm really loving it. Like, it's a lot of fun to write, and I've been consistent with it, but kind of like after that I'm like, what are we gonna do? Where are we going? But that's kind of fun to figure out. Like, I kind of like getting to fill in the blanks and getting to decide, because I am the one who decides. Overall, I just wanted to update you right now and say that things are still going good. It's still very challenging, especially because I have started school again. So it's my senior year of college, so I'm doing all my final classes, and I just don't want to do any of them. I'm ready to graduate and move on and not have to do any homework, but I'm having to now balance writing with schoolwork, and that's just not fun at all. It's really hard. I've just only had 1 week so far of school, and I have definitely not written as much as I was during the summer, which I really miss, because I was doing really good progress during the summer. Like, I was on a roll, and now I feel like, oh, I have all these other deadlines, all these other assignments I have to worry about too. But on days when I can write, I'm writing as much as I can, as much as possible for me. I feel like the word count, the daily word count I set, which was 1,500, that is still like the goal, but there are going to be days, like today is a Tuesday and I work today and then I have one class, so I'm going to be out of the house and doing stuff from like 9 to probably about 6 o'clock. So I'll have a full day booked. So there might be some writing time in there, like while I'm waiting for class or just in a slow period or something where I can maybe get some words in. But the thing that bothers me about that is that I can't have my focus sessions. Like, every time I'm writing, I have my headphones on, I have my playlist, and like I'm focused. Like, that's all I'm doing. So I hate kind of being interrupted for writing is what I've realized. So I'm trying to get words in anywhere I can, like at any time that I can, but it's definitely been challenging, but I think I will be able to do it. I'm kind of nervous because, you know, 90,000 was the goal I had set, so part of me is like, what happens if I don't reach 90,000? You know, like that was my initial goal, so what happens if I reach 80? And truly, I think my answer to that would be, I think it's fine because that's still 80,000 words, like that's still a full novel. But I think I set 90,000 because that would be like probably the max amount of words I could write without it being like too broad, you know? So I think I don't think I'll be like upset that I didn't hit 90,000, but I'm not gonna like lower my expectations. Like I'm not gonna not aim for it anymore. Like that's still my goal. We'll just have to see what goes on because September is going to be a very busy month for me with schoolwork, and I hate to say that, and I hate to use it as like an excuse or something to keep me from writing, but like I need to graduate, so I kind of need to do that work even though I don't want to. So it's just going to be all about finding a good balance and still heavily prioritizing writing as much as I was in the summer. It's just going to look a bit different as we go into the fall. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video and for following along with the start of this journey. I'm excited to film more like episodes of these for you. I feel like they're kind of fun, and sorry if it was kind of boring. I feel like I've just been talking the whole time, but I've had a lot to talk about. So, and I promise I will share more book details soon, like about what it's about. I just feel like if I promise something and I don't deliver on that, I don't want to disappoint people because I want to write the story that feels like it's from me and feels like it's genuinely what I want. So I don't really feel comfortable sharing anything about that until I feel like it is ready to be shared, and I also feel like it is something that I have like made whole and like made my own, if that makes sense. I kind of am just hesitant to do that until I'm sure. But all I can say right now is it's a fantasy book. We've got like royals, we got some magic maybe, and I think that's all I'll say because I don't want to give anything away and I just want to make sure that it's what I want before I start throwing out things. But yeah, that's actually going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more updates from me and for other videos. And definitely go follow my Instagram at norahsnovels because I post a lot of writing updates on there, like on my stories or just in like a post. And you can always just keep up with what I'm doing. I'm kind of active. I try to be. Yeah, I will see you in my next video, and thanks again for watching. Bye.